Hi! I just pressed record, but I wasn't ready. Wait. Hello, Pokemon lovers and people. Welcome to another rating of the Pokemon. We are getting there. Johto is on its way. We're getting close. Hope you're excited. Last week we ended with Jinx, the human-shaped Pokemon, and this week we're starting out with number 125, Electabuzz. Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, I really like these Pokemon. Electabuzz and Magmar are Pokemon that I really like. Not because they're in the first generation. Obviously, they were Einzelgänger Pokemon. They had no evolutions. Later on, they got a baby version, and they got another evolution. So, I mean, let me just get this past you. This will always confuse me, like the way they add Pokemon in other generations. Like, how does that work? I don't understand. Like, does it randomly oh, a baby Pokemon? This is a thing now? What? Oh, and now it suddenly evolves in the 4th generation? What the fuck? Like, that kind of stuff will always confuse me. But it's fine. We'll get past that maybe somehow. Electabuzz is an electric Pokemon. Its actual Pokemon typing is electric Pokemon, and it is an electric type. Like, everything about this thing is electric, and I think he's awesome. I think the sound he makes is something like... I don't think he says his name. Maybe he does. Not quite sure right now. I'm maybe making this up, but Electabuzz. Electabuzz does this thing where it windmills his arms around to hurt other Pokemon, but it's usually quite ineffective because it's not accurate and he just fucks up. Electabuzz can also have a lot of electricity inside its body, which is used in smaller towns so that Electabuzz can be used as a lightning rod. I can see Electabuzz standing on the top of roofs going, waiting for the thunder, waiting for the lightning. Nope, just chilling. But I guess that is how it works. Another thing about Electabuzz is that it gets angry by the color red. I'm not quite sure why that is. It is probably has a good reason for that. Maybe because he's yellow. Maybe he hates Magmar. I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't look like a bull to me. It's just a walking yellow striped thing. I don't know why it gets so angry at the color red. One of the Pokédex entries for Electabuzz is, I'm just gonna read this because I just read it but now I forgot again. If a major power outage occurs, it is certain that this Pokemon has eaten electricity at a power plant. That's great! I love this. I love Electabuzz. Electabuzz is awesome. I know, I'm a fan of Electabuzz, but there's one guy I like a little bit more. Electabuzz gets 4 out of 5, and now let's move on to one of my favorite Pokemon, Magmar. Now, Magmar is a Pokemon that always looks like it has a butt on its head, or like boobies. Speaking of boobies, the Japanese name for Magmar is Boober. That's the best thing ever. Why is it not called Boober in the English translations? Shit, son. Boober. I love that. I love that. Magmar is a Spitfire Pokemon. I mean, they come up with the best things. I would have called it a lava Pokemon. Magmar can sustain so much fucking heat that it can chill in lava and not be harmed. It actually likes being in lava because when it gets cold, it's really cold for a Magmar. What Magmar also does is when it dips a hurt limb or something into magma or fire, it will heal itself. Now that is awesome. Magmar, I fucking love you. I love you. Like, Magmar, it's just one of my favorites. I don't know, there's something about Magmar that just really appeals to me. Let me just quickly look at its Pokédex entries, see if there's anything funny in there. Pokemon Yellow says, born in an active volcano. Its body is always cloaked in flames, so it looks like a big ball of fire. I mean, that's not true. It doesn't look like a big ball of fire. It looks like a duck with boobs on its head. Oh well, 5 out of 5. Next up is number 127, Pinsir. Now, Pinsir is a bug Pokemon. I'm not a big fan of Pinsir. I'm not sure why. Kind of creeps me out. And when I was reading its Pokédex entries, it actually said Pinsir will hold on to its prey until it's broken in half or some kind of shit. That's creepy. Don't like that. And when it doesn't, it can't manage to actually break it in half, it will just fling it into the air like it's nothing And that is terrifying, so can you just stop that, Pinsir? I don't know, Pinsir creeps me out. Pinsir also has a Mega Evolution. It just looks like a giant, disgusting bug with wings now, and it's like, it's not an improvement. Not an improvement. Mega Pinsir. Another thing about Pinsir is that it really enjoys tree sap, and you may have seen that in the anime. There's like a bunch of Pinsir sitting on a tree, sucking it. And I think that's kind of funny, to be honest, but that's the only thing I like about Pinsir. Do people even use Pinsir? Let me know if you use Pinsir and let me know why. That's my question today. Why do you use Pinsir? 2 out of 5. There's a lot of Einzelganger Pokemon in this episode. Next up is Taurus. I can't really pronounce that for some weird reason. Taurus? Taurus. Taurus has 3 tails. It looks like a bull, kind of. Does it look like a bull? Is that the right animal? Like a buffalo. It looks like a buffalo. That's what it looks like. What it does, it can run really fast, you know, like Rhyhorn, kinda. As soon as it's like starts running, it's like impossible to stop until it runs into something. And what it does, it whips itself with its 3 tails to run faster. I mean, it's into some weird shit, that Taurus, but you know, you do you. Here's a fun Pokedex entry. Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. This Pokemon is not satisfied unless it is rampaging at all times. If there's no opponent for Taurus to battle, it will charge at thick trees and knock them down to calm itself. But if it always has to rampage, is it ever calm? It's something for you to think about. 3 out of 5. Next up is number 129, Magikarp. I want to take a moment to talk about Magikarp, because I have been reading some stuff about Magikarp that depresses me greatly, makes me sad. So I'm just gonna read this now. Please don't cry, baby. I'm gonna read this out loud and let you, I wanna know what you think. Red and blue. In the distant past, it was somewhat stronger than the horribly weak descendants that exist today. Gold. An underpowered, pathetic Pokemon. It may jump high on rare occasions, but never more than 7 feet. It's pretty high for a fish. Ruby. Magikarp is a pathetic excuse for a Pokemon that is only capable of flopping and splashing. And then the last one, now this one hurts me. It is virtually worthless in terms of both power and speed. It is the most weak and pathetic Pokemon in the world. What the fuck, Pokemon? I want to talk about Magikarp. Magikarp is very underrated. I personally really love Magikarp. And in my Pokemon Yellow playthrough, I did my best to train my Magikarp into a powerful Gyarados. And I love my Magikarp. I love Magikarp. Why does Pokemon hate Magikarp? Magikarp can learn Tackle at level 15. It's not a powerful tackle, but it's a tackle. Why are you so mean? I would like to invite all my Magikarp lovers out there to just unite and stand up for Magikarp, because Magikarp is a beautiful, majestic, fishy creature. Stop hating on Magikarp. 5 out of 5. Next up is Gyarados, the evolution of this tiny little creature. When I was editing my previous video, by the way, I was looking at Seadra and I noticed that Seadra actually looks like a tiny Gyarados. Did anyone ever notice that? Gyarados has fangs that can crush stones and scales that are harder than rocks, and Gyarados is a fucking epic son of a bitch Pokemon. Now, Mega Gyarados, not a fan. Looks like a tiny fat version of Gyarados. I'd rather have like the long majestic snake. The actual name, like the Pokedex entry name for Gyarados is Atrocious Pokemon. What is it with the Magikarp line that makes everyone hate it so much? I like the Magikarp line. Stop hating. It's mean. Anyway, Magikarp is a boss-ass bitch, and I love my Gyarados. When my Magikarp evolved, I was sad because I didn't have a cute little Magikarp anymore, but my Gyarados is a powerful motherfucker, and I love him. 5 out of 5. Next up is Lapras. Now, Lapras is a Pokemon I really like. I think it's gorgeous, and it is cute, and it's super fucking smart. Lapras is like the dolphin of the Pokemon world. Speaking of dolphins, why is there no dolphin Pokemon? Lapras is amazing. It can carry humans on its back. It is incredibly smart. It has like it swims around in fleets. Is that what you call that? A fleet? I call it a fleet. And nothing like, oh, I love Lapras. It can do ice beams, it can do psychic things. In the anime, I'm not sure if it can do that in battle, but Lapras. Also in Pokemon X, Lapras is the only Pokemon that actually looks like itself when you use Swim. The other ones just look like a floating tire. Lapras is beautiful. Lapras is amazing. Can we find a little fact about Lapras for a second? Let's go. Now, this is not a fun fact, but it does apply to the actual world. They have gentle hearts. Because they rarely fight, many have been caught. Their number has dwindled. Is there a Pokemon Greenpeace fund? Because I would donate to that just to get Lapras back into the world. 5 out of 5. And the last one is Ditto. Ditto's Japanese name is Metamon. Now that sounds like Digimon, like a little bit too much like Digimon for my liking. But you know, don't worry about it, it's fine. Ditto is a Pokemon that can breed with most other Pokemon apart from the genderless, like the not gender specific ones, and itself, I believe. Ditto is pretty much the Pokemon prostitute, and it's fine. Everyone uses their Ditto, abuses it. What if your Ditto falls in love with your Pokemon and you're just like, no, you're gonna have to have sex with another one now? It's rude. Ditto can morph into anything. It can adapt its cells into any Pokemon it sees. The only thing it cannot do is take over its level. I mean, if your Ditto is level 2 and the Gyarados it just transformed into is level 70, still fucked, but at least it looks cool. I think Ditto is cool. I like shiny Ditto a little bit more. I love all the pink Pokemon that turn into light blue Pokemon when they're shiny. Mew, Ditto, Mew, Ditto. I don't know which other Pokemon do that. Blue Ditto, 10 out of 10, top lad. Ditto gets 4 out of 5 for me. That was it for today. Next episode is going to be an Evolution special. It's going to be all about Eevee and its 3 first-gen evolutions. I love Evolutions, so get ready for that. I did a poll. That is a discussion you don't want to get into. But you know me, I'm completely unbiased when I rate my Pokemon, so that's gonna be a fun episode. Have a good time. Gotta catch them all.